Hey everybody, it's Jay, and I am here shooting my Romanian M10, which is sold by Atlantic Firearms as a DIY. This gun cost me about 550 bucks, then I had to also add furniture to it, so a little bit extra there. But the nice thing about these is you could pretty much make them whatever you want. So if you want to put more modern furniture and go tactical with it, you can. If you want to go more correct for a Romanian gun, you can throw a dong on there and a folding stock like I have and go kind of lightweight. What I have, which is not very original, is my yellow X-Tech banana clip that I got from AK Operators Union, and I think it goes with just about anything. So I'm going to put some rounds through this real quick, and we'll see how it goes.
And just to add, that's basically M+N's version of what Century sells as the RH10.
Good info. See, that's why we have Misha here.
Wow, I could actually feel the wind from that.
So now that we're back at the table, I wanted to just talk about this gun again because it's one that I see pop up on Atlantic Firearms flyers fairly regularly as the M+M M10 DIY. And whenever I bought mine, it was about 550 bucks. Now I have no idea what the availability or the pricing is like right now. Most guns right now, as of August 2020, are pretty difficult to get a hold of if you're talking about any kind of AR-15 or AK. So bear that in mind. But I have been seeing these pop up here and there on Atlantic's site. Now, if you want an in-depth video review of this, go check out the video that we did on it. Misha talked a lot about the history, and then I talked about and actually showed what I did from start to finish to build my DIY out. Like I said, the DIY comes in with no furniture. It has trigger group and all that stuff, but is otherwise stripped. And no handguards, no stock, no pistol grip, no handguards, and a tacked on muzzle nut. I thought about selling this gun for a while because I don't really have a Romanian collection. The only other Romanian that I have right now is my AES-10B, which is an RPK. It's actually the first AK that I ever bought. And actually, it's the first time I ever met Misha, was buying it off of him. And so I don't really have any other Romanian AKs. And I was talking it over with my wife and just kind of bouncing some ideas off and said that I had been thinking about selling it. And she said, by the tone of your voice, it doesn't sound like you really want to sell it. So I went ahead and took it back out to the range because I kind of wanted to confirm. And to be clear, yeah, I don't want to get rid of this gun. I really like shooting it. The handling on it is really fast on target the way that I have it set up. With the barrel setup and with the stock setup, it balances really well and it's super fast on target. It's also, with this ALG trigger that I put in it, is pretty fast to shoot as well. So it is a really fun, close-in run and gun type gun. It's not overly long, and if I ever decide to go full PM90 on it and go the SBR route, I can cut the barrel, the gas block, and thread it, and it'll be a really nice, short, little, handy gun. And that's what really describes the way that I have this DIY set up, is just handy. And that's what I wanted, was a fairly plain Jane basic AK that felt handy, and that fulfills all of those requirements. I wasn't planning on putting a red dot on it, and I have not shot it for accuracy really, except within about 50 yards. I haven't really shot it off of a bench. I mostly just shoulder it and move from target to target as fast as I can. And there's a couple of reasons for both of those things, and that is the side rail on this. Someone actually mentioned it in the comments, and I noticed it before I did after I did the last video. The side rail is really high. So even putting a very low profile, like an RS Regulate or a Midwest Industries Gen 2, it's gonna stick up quite far off of the dust cover. That's disappointing to me. I wish that it was a little bit lower and would make it a little more practical for people to put optics on. Now, like I said, I wasn't actually planning to run an optic on this, so it's kind of immaterial for me anyway. But that is really my only complaint so far with the M10 DIY, so-called DIY from Atlantic Firearms, aka RH10 from Century Arms, depending on where you get it, who you get it from. So might end up chopping the barrel one day if I ever get around to doing SBR stuff. But for now, yeah, it's just a lot of fun to shoot and has been 100% reliable. Maybe someday I'll try to do some accuracy shooting with it, but I'm just so bad with iron sights at 100 yards, especially AK irons, and you have a very short sight radius on top of that, that I can't imagine that I'll do any good on the mechanical accuracy. I'm sure it's probably 760 by 39 AK accurate. Anyway, check it out if you want one, if you can find one. I think that they're worth picking up. I think that they're worth looking into. And again, with it being a DIY setup, you can just really make the gun your own. This is Jay. I hope you liked the video. Please click like if you did. Be sure to subscribe to it if you haven't already. And be sure to check out the link to our Patreon page if you want to help support us. And we'll see you again soon next time.